Hello everyone and welcome to Sofa Recordings. I am so excited to be able to sit next to this man today and listen to your wonderful music. John Smith, thank you so much for being here today.
It's a pleasure.
And lyrically and musically, we're in for a huge treat today on Sofa Recordings. I just want to read something to you. Trains, planes, automobiles and Christmas markets will rumble in my wake. That is something he writes on his social media. That is not something he writes in a song, that's something that he writes in his social media. And so it's really not that meaningful, actually, and it still means so much. So that's what we're in for today, for a treat lyrically and musically.
Several Christmas markets have indeed.
Yes, have they?
been left in a mess.
Well, that's good. That's the way it should be at Christmas time.
Absolutely.
How are you doing anyway? Headlong is your new album that's out, been out for a little bit anyway, and it's so beautiful music.
Thank you. Yeah.
How has that been playing it for people?
It's been really nice, really good. I released that record at the end of June and then played a lot of summer festivals. And then I started this long European tour on September 14th in Ireland. And I guess 3 months on. Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Well,
3 months.
Time is flying.
Yeah, it's gone very quickly, which means I think I've had a good time. Yeah.
We are going to talk about your influences, how you came to be a musician, how you practice, and lots of interesting things. But I really want to listen to some music first to get kind of into the groove today.
That sounds good.
Far Too Good is from the album Headlong, and I'm so looking forward to listening to it. John Smith for you.
Thank you. Okay. Tell me your dream, somewhere you wanna go or someone to be. What of your desire? What hunger to sate? How high the fire? Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you around? Have a little faith, we can pull it together. You're far too good for keeping down. I know your problem, it's clear to see, and I know I've been useless. What happened to do? And did you feel it just wasn't worth the effort? Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you down? I wanna hold on as you unravel, even when you don't want me around. Sure, there must be something, anything I can do. There's times I get to thinking I just made it worse for you. Tell me your dream. Is there somewhere you wanna go? Someone to be? What of your desire? What hunger to sate? How high the fire? Are you gonna make yourself unhappy? Are you gonna let it run you round? Have a little faith, we can pull it together. You're far too good for keeping down. You're far too good for keeping down. Far too good for keeping down. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey.
Thank you so much. Far Too Good from Headlong, which is your 5th album. And if I listened to all the albums while I was getting ready to talk to you, and I thought,
Thank you.
compared to the Great Lakes, which was the album before, this
Yeah.
seems like a bit more upbeat. Is that
Yeah,
right? Is that
yeah,
the feeling that I
yeah,
get?
yeah.
And how did that happen?
I got happy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. I sort of reached a point where things started making a bit more sense, perhaps. And yeah, when I listened back to the record after we mastered the record, I had the same thing, and I just listened, and I thought, this is actually quite a happy sounding record. And it sounds like the guy who wrote this must be quite a happy person. And yeah, that was nice. It was nice to know that.
Is it easier to write songs when you're not that happy, though? Is that, it doesn't make it hard? Because I read that sometimes you write 10 songs, or you write 10 songs, and out of the 10 songs, nine are not really that good, you say yourself. I'm not saying that you say it.
Sure,
and the one
sure.
of them is okay, or is really good and gets on the album.
I think
it's easier to write songs when
honestly-
you're a little bit sad?
Honestly, I think it's never easy to write songs. Yeah, I don't think it matters if I'm happy or sad. I've never found it easy at all. And I wrote the same number of songs for Headlong that I did for Great Lakes, and then began to peel it back and get rid of some stuff. So, for me, it doesn't make much difference. I don't think you necessarily have to be melancholy and miserable to write songs. I don't know.
You did have a writer's block before you wrote Great Lakes, right? Which was 2013. That
Yeah.
kind of where you thought, maybe I'm going to turn into a guitar teacher, which was also a wonderful job, or do something completely different, a session guitar player, and not be a solo artist anymore. What happened that kind of got you out of that rut back then?
I met 2 interesting people. Joe Henry, the American producer, and well, first and foremost, he's a songwriter, and then he also produces records on the side. And we began to write together, and the same happened with the great songwriter from Prince Edward Island in Canada, Dennis Ellsworth. And I met him and stayed at his house, and we wrote some songs. And out of those relationships, I had like 4 or 5 really interesting songs that were quite unlike anything I'd done before, which are all on Great Lakes. And that just sort of opened the doors, and new stuff came flooding out, and suddenly I had this new record. And I learned a very valuable lesson there, which is if you're stuck, ask for help, which I'd never done before. So it was really useful, actually. And I did the same thing with Headlong. There are maybe 3 co-writes on that record as well. And it's something that I'm really interested in now, is writing with other people,
And I bet a lot of people are going to be happy about that. I mean, people like Ben Howard have said about your music, or about you, he's a magician when it comes to music, which
that's
is
nice.
wonderful things to say.
Yeah.
I was talking about the Great Lakes because I had a request for today, and I was listening to the album, and I love the song "There Is a Stone."
Oh, yeah.
I think you recorded Great Lakes in a chapel, which probably made it very nice to record the music, or was it too cold?
No, it was cold, and I was very sick.
Oh no!
But that was good because it gives you something to fight. I quite like, sometimes I like to play a gig with a hangover, because it gives me something that I have to fight against, and it gives you something to feel good about if it goes well. But I haven't been doing that so much lately. With Headlong, I haven't felt the need to do any of that stuff.
Well, then I'm going to put you into a melancholy mood for
Let's
one
do
song,
it.
and then we'll go out to Headlong.
Yeah.
But this is from me. Thank you so much for doing
Pleasure.
this. There Is a Stone from the album Great Lakes. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure. Let's get miserable. All right.
Soon maybe I will be able, darling, if only you knew. There's a stone that sits on the tip of my tongue when I need to say something to you. I shout into the deepest places where it echoes, and then high walls still hold back, raise the waters black. Someday gonna take us again. Now these are all of my riches. I'll lay them out in tribute to thee. This is a kiss, it stands in the guise of an unspoken promise. Well, can't you see I will light the waiting beacon, illuminate the spires, high walls still hold back, raise the waters black, the someday take us again. Bottle spins on a table, and somewhere he is reminded of her. You're the one he shook with promises broken. I'll only tell you one that's true. Well, I shout in the deepest places, love will endure till the end. High walls hold back, they raise the waters black, and that fathomless attack someday will take us again, take us again. Aye. Darling, would you take me again?
Oh my goodness, I'm absolutely speechless. It doesn't happen very often. Wonderful, so beautiful.
Oh, hey,
thank you so
you.
much. There aren't very many artists that have albums that you want to listen to the whole album to. You know, sometimes you just switch the songs, and with your albums, I kind of just wanted to listen to every single song. That doesn't happen that often. When you were growing up, listening to the albums of your dad, the records that he had, what album was the album that you thought, I've got to listen to every single song? Was it Bob Dylan? Was it, I don't know, who was it?
It was Led Zeppelin.
Oh, it was?
Yeah. Why
was that? What caught you with Led Zeppelin?
Well, it was interesting because the first things that I remember hearing were Paul Simon, Ry Cooder, Muddy Waters, John Lee Hooker, and Bach, and Beethoven, and so I had this sort of real mix of like the best melodies ever written and Americana, and that was really quite quite profound, I think, when I was like 6 or 7. It was a different world. But then when I discovered Led Zeppelin, I was maybe 10 or 11, and it was like a gateway into a different world. And a lot of people will know this. Like when you hear a record or a band that connects with you in a meaningful way, it does feel like they take you to a completely different place. And with Led Zeppelin, I just had to sit and listen to every album in, like side A, side B, move to the next record, side A, side B. And I did that with them for a long time. I was completely obsessed. And then I discovered more stuff. And then as I got older, my brother sat me down, said, "You're ready now to listen to Nick Drake." So then I discovered Nick Drake. I did the same thing. And having learned every Led Zeppelin riff and solo, I then had to try and learn everything by Nick Drake.
What would you say from Nick Drake or from Led Zeppelin have you incorporated into your music? What did you take with you for yourself?
Well, with Led Zeppelin, I love a good riff, you know. So I will always try and find some kind of hook or something that, you know, resonates, or that you can fall back to and have a good time playing it. And Jimmy Page always said, never play a song the same way twice, because otherwise you get sick of yourself. Mm-hmm. So that really stuck with me. But with Nick Drake, I think just his delivery was so profound to me. It's not something I've ever tried to mimic, but I feel that with him, you know exactly where you are listening to him, and it's a really beautiful place. So if you can deliver even a half of that, then I think you're doing something quite magical. Yeah.
When you were 5 and 6 listening to music, were you already playing music yourself, or were you just listening?
Yeah.
What were you playing? What were you singing?
The piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was playing piano from the age of about 4, and entering competitions and stuff like this, getting really obsessed with piano, and I was getting to sort of concert level, and then I started playing drums, and I ditched the piano.
Oh no! What did your parents say?
They were fine. They just wanted me to, as long as I was enjoying it, you know. So then I started playing a lot of drums, and then when I was 11 years old, I discovered the guitar, and my dad gave me a guitar, showed me 3 chords, and that was it. Every day since then, I've played guitar.
Really?
Yeah.
And have you played the drums and the piano? I mean, of course you have, but do you like to enjoy still playing the piano and the drums?
Yeah, I play a bit on the records. You know, if there's a drum part that's not too difficult, I'll play it. But for Headlong, I got this amazing drummer called Jay Sikora to come and play drums. And on Great Lakes, it's Ross Turner from Dublin. So if there is someone, I'm not proud about saying, you know what, I can't play this. I'll get someone else to do it who has the experience.
I think that's what makes a good musician, to know what you can do and what you can't do.
I hope so.
So who is Joanna?
Joanna is it's just a travelling song. It's for people who have to leave behind their loved one, you know.
But did you write it for someone special as well?
Yeah, I wrote this about my wife.
That's a lovely... Is her name Joanna?
No.
Oh, I'm trying to get some more information here.
No.
This is for your wife, and this is for us as well. Thank you so much.
Sure. Let's see.
Sunset over Medford, tall Oregon pine. On my way to the next engagement with Joanna on my mind. Is my own business too much for some? A fight with the wrong guy in the wrong bar, maybe altogether in the wrong lifetime. Joanna doesn't worry, she's half the world away. She's alright, long as I ring home every 6 or 7 days. 'Cause I know her, and she knows me too. She told me that if there's anything she could do, well, I should call her. The earth will move, she comes running, so I can make it through. There's trouble at the border, the man won't let me in. There's something about my face, must be worrying him. And there's this funny kind of sadness, pushes and pulls you around at the same time. Between this old road, that new country, I'll be satisfied. Joanna doesn't worry, though she's half the world away. She's alright, I promise to abandon my search for an early grave. 'Cause I know her, and she knows me too. Yeah, she told me if there's anything she could do, well, I'll call her. The earth will move, she comes running, and I will make it through. As I raise my hand into the sky, history written in inches, just a billion years behind. And I will hold those light years in my fist when I fix Joanna in my mind. She's alright. She's alright. She's alright. Yeah, she's alright. She's alright. Oh, my darling, be alright. Well, she's alright.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
How hard is it to keep up friendships and family relationships when you're on tour all the time?
Wow, that's quite a big question.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not easy. I've missed most of my friends' weddings and birthdays, and the ones that I haven't missed, I've played guitar at them.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I've missed funerals and all kinds of stuff, but that's just the way it is, and you work around it. So the people I really care about, I give them as much time as I do the guitar. You know.
And how do you do that? Is it really by going home and then talking to them, or do you use like, FaceTime and whatever?
Yeah,
that is?
there's all that stuff, all the FaceTime and WhatsApp groups with my mates and all that stuff. And that's really useful because I could go and play to 1,000 people. And then as soon as I pick up my phone, all my mates back in England are giving me a hard time about something. So it keeps me down to earth.
So is that what you do when you get lonely, or do you not get lonely when you're with your guitar?
I don't get lonely.
No?
No. I've been touring for, 11 years now. I think I've just never gotten lonely, fortunately.
Yeah, absolutely. Otherwise, you probably have the wrong job, I guess.
Yeah.
But what do you do when you're on tour to make yourself feel like you're at home? Do you have some people take candles or whatever, but is there something that, I don't know, do you have something that you always carry with you apart from your guitar?
No, I wish I had a more interesting answer. I should think of something. I've got my guitar, I know where I'm going, and I know when I'm going home, and that's kind of enough.
Have you given yourself is there like a limit? You say, I'm going to be on the road for, 52 days, and then I'm definitely going home for at least a couple of days, or is there?
Yeah, 5 weeks is my limit.
Oh, okay, so that's pretty much, is that 50 days? No, that's less, whatever.
I don't know, what's that, 35 days?
Yeah, it could be.
After
exactly.
5 weeks, I find it way too much, but then I have to go home.
We're coming back home to Headlong now, to the title song of the album Headlong, which you
Yeah.
dedicated to John Renbourn. Who exactly is that, and why did you dedicate the album to him?
John Renbourn was one of the great pioneers of folk and blues guitar in the UK. He was a member of the band Pentangle with Bert Jansch and Danny Thompson, and he made some of the best acoustic and electric guitar music that I've ever heard, and he was very kind to me very early on in my career. I opened for him, and he had me back in his dressing room, and he poured me a whiskey, and he told me that I was the future of folk music, which completely sort of astounded me, because I'd been listening to him since I was 16, so he was just incredibly generous and a very important musician for people who do what I do. He was one of the high priests, I think, at the church of the place where I worship. So, yeah, it felt like the right thing to do. He died when I was on a plane to Australia. It's just as Bert Jansch died and Levon Helm died when I was on tour in America. So I've these things have happened whilst I've been away, and they've really kind of pulled on my chain, you know, and they've made me feel sort of more connected to what I'm doing, because without them, I wouldn't be here doing it. And I just feel like I owe them a great debt, you know, having made such powerful music. So.
And so do we, so we get to hear you. It's Headlong, thank you.
It's a pleasure. This is actually a very happy song.
Oh, good.
After all of that.
If I'm low down, if I'm fit to crack, when I'm staring wildly into the black, show me kindness, show me kindness. I can't say for certain that I have been worth all the trouble that she has seen, but there's kindness. Show me kindness. Head on to whatever we meet. Running headlong into you and me. No longer unfounded, headlong you're bound to me. If I don't know where my home will be, I look for shelter in your company. Give me goodness. She gives me goodness. Head on to whatever we meet. Running headlong into you and me. No longer unfounded, headlong you're bound to me. Well, I don't know how much more I can take. Never have I come to the point at which I break. There's just one thing I'm sure of, it's headlong we're bound. Head on to whatever we need. Running headlong into you and me. I'm no longer unfounded, 'cause headlong you're bound to me. Running headlong, running headlong, running headlong, running headlong, running headlong, running headlong.
It is a happy song.
Yeah.
You you went to college in Liverpool, and that's
I
where
did.
you played in pubs. Do you
Yeah.
remember the first evening where you're playing in front of lots of drunken people who were having lots of fun, where you thought, oh my God, they are really listening to me?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, when was that?
That was in 2000 and maybe the very end of 2002, the beginning of 2003, in a bar in Liverpool called the Magnet, where we used to go and listen to. They had these regular funk and disco nights, and we would drink as much as possible and dance. You know, like just kids, you know. And they also had this singer-songwriter night. So I worked up. I was just beginning to write songs, and I just kind of worked up 3 or 4 of my own songs, and I took them down there, and everyone listened and applauded, and it was, it was kind of amazing. I'd been playing open mics for a long time, playing covers and playing instrumental guitar music, but that sort of gave me the confidence to go and try and find some other concerts, and that took me to the Bath Guitar Festival for the first time, playing in front of lots of other guitar players and things like that. Yeah.
what has changed since 2002 till now when you're playing in front of people in the different countries? What kind of feeling is it? A lighter feeling because you think I know exactly what I'm doing now, or is it something tougher to do it because you know people are expecting something? Oh, sorry.
No. I think you're absolutely right. It's because now I know what I'm doing. You know, when you begin, there's so much uncertainty. You don't know how to hold yourself. You don't know how to project your voice, how to use a microphone. You don't know how to handle your instrument. Maybe you don't have an instrument that you can rely on and that feels really comfortable. So there's all this stuff that's just brand new, and it takes such a long time to kind of get used to all that stuff. So over the course of 15 years, I've been slowly figuring it out. But I still learn. I come off every tour and I've learned something new, about like a microphone that I want to use, or about what happened with my guitar and why did it happen and how can I make that better,
Do you go to concerts yourself and learn from other musicians how they present themselves on stage?
I don't really go to many gigs.
You don't have very much time to do that, do you?
No.
Do you listen to music at home? Because I sometimes,
I do.
Yeah,
I listen to a lot of music at home because music is still for me very, it's very comforting, and educational. I'm always learning when I listen to other people. But to go to a gig is kind of like, it's like going to work on your day off, I know that maybe sounds strange because for most people going to a concert is a real treat. For me, I always kind of, because I spend so much time sound checking and thinking about, how it sounds, how the lights are, all the technical stuff. If I go to a gig and if there's something that's really obviously wrong for me, it just ruins the whole thing.
It's like analysing, I guess, the whole time. Yeah,
sure.
Not necessarily now, not too much fun, I guess.
But then again, when you do go to a gig that's everything's perfect, it's really inspiring.
Do you remember the last time you saw someone on stage and thought, this is perfect?
Probably...
I'm putting you on the spot right now, aren't I?
Yeah, but it's such a good question. I think it was probably...
Just think about it.
Let me think.
You should think about while you're playing your next song. If you can do that, that's amazing. If you can do that, but maybe you'll think of it. You did the set list? You have 5 albums for today. You did the set list. You have 5 albums. How come you picked Town to Town from Great Lakes to play today?
Oh, because I just really enjoy playing it.
Okay, well, we enjoy listening to it. So while you're thinking about who you saw last on stage, you can play Town to Town, play the guitar, sing, and if you can do all those things at once, then you're a hero. Amazing.
Sure.
Town to Town from Great Lakes. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, great.
When you had enough of the things you own, you box it up and off you go, doing well, up and down. Young men go from town to town. When I'm on my own, the night is young. If I wanna have a little fun, just some company, don't let me down. Young men go from town to town. Amazing how she came and went. It's as she says, you're pretending. Do anything you can to make her stay. Anyway, she left a long, long time ago. used in vain made it worse. Sweet affection became a curse. I ran away, damned myself, look for comforts someplace else. Amazing how she came and went, and said, she said, you're pretending you do anything you can to make her stay. Anyway, she left her love and time ago. With one more night won't make it any better. Morning come, can't wait to close the door. Just one more drink, gonna throw it out the window. From town to town, break a little more. When you had enough of the things you own, you box it up and off I go. Yeah, I'm doing well, up and down. Young men go from town to town. Young men go from town to town. Young men go from town to town. I go town to town.
Absolutely love it. Thank you so much for
Thank
that.
you.
First of all, is your real name John Smith?
Yeah.
So how many times have you thought, thank God that my parents called me John Smith or John? And how many times have you thought, man, why didn't they call me Balthazar or something like that?
I don't think about it.
No?
No.
I know you've been asked this question 100 times, but it is a name that, you look up. And there are, of course, hundreds and hundreds of John Smiths. And if you put in music, then you find you straight away. By the way, his website is johnsmith.com, just so you can look you up. And you're on all the social media. But it's not something that bothers you at all, ever.
No, if you put me John Smith in Google, I come up number 2 or 3.
Well, that means you're good, that you get looked up quite often.
Yeah, I don't know. My mother gave it to me. What am I going to do,
Well, a lot of people, give themselves different names when they just decide to become musicians or famous people or
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'd be comfortable singing these songs with someone else's name.
That's a really good explanation, actually, why you don't change it. Why, and there's no reason to anyway. I just thought,
Yeah.
John Smith is someone that you might not be able to find on Google, but you can find you on Google and on Facebook and on Instagram. How has social media and the internet changed the way music is working for you right now? Is it something that you're happy that there is?
I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting with the name because when I started, people weren't obsessed with becoming famous like they are now. I just came from a place where I wanted to play songs, and a few people around me wanted to do that. And if you were going to make it, you had to be good enough that people would listen. So the whole aim was just to get my own gigs and play my own music to people. And that's all I've ever wanted to do. But now with the obsession with social media to get as many followers as possible and to, become as famous as possible and make as much money as possible, to me it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with music. So I think it can be very valuable, but I think it's also, there's something to me that is quite, I don't know, almost ugly about it, because it's like the drive to just get as much attention as you can. But really, fame and popularity, these things aren't real. They don't stay with you. I've seen it, you know, and I've been around it, and I've had a very small amount of it. And as soon as you get it, it's gone, and you have to do something else to keep people interested. So I would just rather just get as good as I can doing what I do. Honestly, I think people have to be very careful not to get sucked into how good they look in a photograph, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's not what people are going to talk about when you're dead.
That's true.
You know?
I actually think that a lot of musicians and artists who are really, really good think exactly the way you do. I think it's a lot has to do with being mediocre, that you end up having to take pictures of yourself and not really thinking about the music that's behind it. It's probably not true for everyone, but for a lot of really good musicians, they kind of end up being famous on social media because they are really good in what they do.
Right.
And
yeah, maybe. I don't know. I've never had a huge following. But I know that the people who do follow me listen to music. So that's, for me, that's enough. The good thing about it, though, is that people can find you and they can request songs. And if I happen to look at Twitter on the day of a show and I see somebody has asked me to play, you know, Living in Disgrace, for instance, I can go, oh, sure, yeah, okay, I'll play that. This person wants to hear it. But, you know, a lot of the time people are just writing you to say, you know, what time are you on stage? Yeah. And I say, well, you know, Google.
Or look at your ticket.
Look at your ticket, you know. One guy wrote to me and said, where can I find the lyrics to your songs? And I said, inside the CD sleeve. You know?
Good answer.
Yeah.
What would he be reading if he were reading about Living in Disgrace? What are the lyrics? Or what is the song about?
This song is about a time when I was really flat broke, because a lot of the time I am. And I was convinced that what I was doing was the right thing, but there were certain other, you know, voices saying, "This is crazy. You should go and find a way to make this work in a more realistic way."
Which would have been what? Do you know?
I don't know. Maybe get a real job. So I wrote this song. Me and my wife were just completely broke, and this is called "Living in Disgrace."
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She is in her prime, though I'm a fool. I can toe the line, obey her rule. Perhaps I'm past my best. Maybe she's too good, but I can't lose myself, be understood. I don't have time to waste. I sell everything we own, 'cause living in disgrace beats living alone. Sure, we've all done things we could soon forget, and I want her to live without regrets. There used to come a time things will twist and break, but now I give it all for her to take. We don't have time to waste. I sell everything we own. Living in disgrace beats living alone. We don't have time to waste. Sell everything I own. Living in disgrace beats living alone. I will give it all. I will give it all. Yeah, I will give it all. And darling, I will give it all. give it all, when I give it all, I will give it all.
I didn't figure out a way to end that song.
I think it was fine, absolutely. Do you remember when the call or the email came that where you thought, oh my gosh, we're not broke anymore because you got some kind of tour or, you know, some kind of money came in?
Oh, it happens every couple months.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it's being an independent musician is kind of risky. So there's times when we remember just how to eat beans on toast, you know.
Which is also kind of yummy too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But do you still remember when the first time was you really were making money with your music and you could buy stuff? And do you remember the stuff that you bought? Did it have to do with music or did you buy presents?
I paid the rent. I was working 4 jobs in 2005.
4?
Yeah. I was working nights in a bar and then until late at the Philharmonic Hall in Liverpool. And then I was working weekends in a car park, and then during the day I was doing half the day in a comic book shop and the other half of the day in an Indian supermarket. So I was just getting as much money together as I could to buy, you know, a proper guitar and proper pickups and to pay for train tickets because I didn't drive then. So I just had to get around to play gigs. And then I got one gig after playing this guitar festival. I was able to kind of reach some more people and just say, hey, you know, I'm doing this. Do you want to book me? And this, but I was very small time, and this is in the MySpace days where you were just, you know, you had 179 followers, and you were like, yes, you know. So I was emailing people, and this guy, I sent him a CD that I recorded at my friend's house on his computer, which was a big deal because I couldn't afford a computer, and I sent it to this guy who ran this festival in Scotland. The Ullapool Guitar Festival, which is still going now. It's a beautiful thing. And he booked me and he paid me £500 for a gig, which was a lot of money. And it was also, for him, he told me later it was just an investment. He wanted me to come back and he wanted to help develop my career, and he really did. But that money was more than I made in 1 week. So it was a lot more than I made. And so I quit all the jobs. And I went self-employed, and I just went from there, and I got more and more gigs. I started earning my money from playing in restaurants and playing very small-time gigs, opening for some people. And then, out of nowhere, I got seen by an agent, a music agent, came down to my show and just said, would you like to come and open for John Martin? And if you don't know John Martin, you know, John Martin is one of the great singer-songwriters of all time from Scotland. The most remarkable kind of beautiful voice and songs, and he had me on tour with him for 2 years, playing huge concert halls like the Royal Albert Hall and the Sage Gateshead and all these beautiful old and new concert halls to thousands of people every night. So I made my first record. As soon as that happened, I went in the studio and I just got enough songs together that I had a full gig and I had an album. I made the album with £300 and I pressed it up and I sold it at gigs. And as I made more money from selling CDs, I made more copies. And I begun this little tiny music industry for myself. And that was kind of the beginning of it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
With all these people telling you how good you are and people, you know, trying to help you out, are there still moments where, or maybe not now anymore, but back then where you thought, I'm not good enough?
Every day.
Really? How can that happen when someone's saying, do you want to play, you know, open for John Martin and I think for Ben Howard as well, and for all these people who are telling you you're so wonderful that you still say, oh, but I don't know if I'm really that great.
Well, I think it's like everything, isn't it? If you work in insurance, you're only as good as the last piece of insurance that you sold, and I'm only as good as the last gig that I played.
Do you think so?
Yeah, and everything before that is irrelevant to me.
To you, but not. I completely disagree, because I think you can have a gig that might not be perfect in your eyes, but you move other people who are watching you, and I could go on for hours. I'm not going to.
No,
I completely disagree.
I know what you're saying, and thank you very much. And I totally get it. But if I'm going to be my own boss, I have to I have to feel good about what I'm doing. And there are some days you come off stage and you just go, oh God, it was terrible. And that happens a lot, Sometimes you come off stage and you feel amazing and you think about, what are you going to do next? What's the next record? What's the next, why am I getting out of bed tomorrow? It's because I want to do this. Some days you wake up and you just don't want to get out of bed and you don't want to get back in the car and go to the next gig. It's just like anything in life. It's like anybody else's job in that way.
You're absolutely right. But I still disagree. And I'm sure no one has ever said to you after the concert that was absolutely terrible. Or has anyone ever said that to you after a concert?
One woman.
Really?
She came up to me and she said, "You're a very good guitar player, but you can't sing."
Oh, man. Well, this song is for you, my dear. Saved my life. From the album Headlong. And as I said, I disagree. And this one is for you, my lady.
Yeah. Okay, this is a love song.
Perhaps I'd rather be alone. See my friends and loved ones just a moment at a time. Some wild abandoned world, my home. Nothing to do but think, oh, what's becoming of my life. I've been getting fat and old. Pies that be of killing me, the pie that used to hold. I'm my lover growing cold. The booze is said and I believe it. Even when I'm crumbling, I can cope. When are you coming down to this hole I call a home? Shake off your dress, babe, and bless my soul. Come on and lift me up, little place on high. When you shake off your dress, babe, you save my life. Hindsight shone a wonder across my eyes. I see the roads down which I could live a dozen lives. I tell myself that little lie, that I could have made it work if I'd just a little time. Oh, when are you coming down to this hole I call a home? Shake off your dress, baby, and bless my soul. Come on and lift me up, little place on high. When you shake off your dress, baby, save my life. Working hard to believe it, looking for a way to go forward, head on high. Doesn't hurt to try. When are you coming down to this hole I call a home? Shake off your dress, babe, and bless my soul. Come on and lift me up, little place on high. When you shake off your dress, babe,
So who was that for? Who did you write that one for? For your wife as well?
Sure.
You're not going to tell me, are you?
I don't like to talk about that stuff.
I won't ask anymore. Don't worry. I won't press on it.
But it's that's just a love song. That's about when you feel like there's only one person in the world who can fix you up.
Speaking about lyrics, I know this may sound like a stupid question to you, but when I hear you singing, and I just can't imagine how you can remember all the words to all the songs. There are so many of them, and they are so complex. They're not, I'm singing a song about love. They're so much more than that. I know you sing them all the time, but still, do you sometimes think, oh my God, I can't remember the lyrics? Does that ever happen?
No, but I have the same fascination with great chefs. Yeah, how can they remember to make like a choux pastry at the drop of a hat? I always have to look in a book if I'm going to make, a particular dish. Like I can cook maybe 10 things really well, and I know what's in them. But if I want to try something complicated, even if I've done it, 50 times, I have to look in the book to remind myself. But I know people who can just throw it all together. So I guess it's the same thing. Most people can remember the lyrics to a few songs. But I don't know. I guess I do it every day. So.
Yeah, I guess when you're good at something, and and what you do as a living, it's your job. I guess that you have to. Otherwise, it would be
quite unprofessional. Yeah.
But
it does. Sorry to interrupt you. It does happen sometimes.
Does it?
It happened at the festival this summer where I was in the middle of a song. What is it? And someone went, "Hindsight shone a wonder." Oh, right, nice. Hindsight shone a wonder across my eye. I was like, thank you.
But isn't that the best feeling, that someone in the audience knows the lyrics?
It's amazing. Yeah. And the best thing ever is when people sing along.
Is it?
It's just incredible. Yeah.
Is there one experience that you remember where it was just really special?
Last night in Cologne.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
In the Studio 672 you were last night. And you're going to be hopefully coming back to Germany sometime soon. I mean,
really
even though
hope
we're being
so.
watched by people from all over the world, of course.
Are we? Wow.
Yes, we are.
You didn't tell me that.
Millions.
How's my hair? Do I look
you look wonderful. And the music is what's important anyway.
I had a shower this morning. Wow.
This is the album Headlong. You have so many other wonderful albums as well.
Thank you.
You're going to be playing Winter, which is not from Headlong. It's from the very first album, which isn't even in print anymore. So if you have it at home, you can be very lucky about it.
Yeah.
You chose it because it's winter, or does it have a deeper reason why you chose winter?
No, actually, you were talking about the first occasion where I remember people really listening, and I'd just written this song, and I wanted to play it to as many people as possible because it was something new for me and for a lot of people. So I just thought I would, dust it off and play it. People always ask me to play this live because it's a different way of treating the guitar.
So starting from the first time playing in a pub in Liverpool, now to an audience, a worldwide audience, Winter. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right.
Once upon a time, one day a baby was born. And on that day it rained as it had never rained before. Kings appeared in human form, came around from everywhere to see this firstborn in the winter. Ancient man in hallowed hall said he's the one, save us all, the one of whom I was told. I was there, I was there in the winter. King bows low, lays down his swords. Humble words, it's gentle, Lord, I'd ask you so many things. All the tribesmen gaze in wonder as he woke the bleeding thunder, stopped and went away. And that ancient man in hallowed hall put his books back on the walls and dreamt uneasy dreams in the winter. In the winter. In the winter, in the winter, in the winter.
Well, there is absolutely a reason why you got nominated to be for the best acoustic guitar player. Who nominated? Which magazine was it?
Oh, Total Guitar magazine in the UK.
And congratulations to the nomination. And,
thank you.
You also
That's
received
nice.
the #1 prize for the young acoustic guitar player. I think that was a couple of years ago, though.
That was like 10 years ago or something, yeah. That was nice as well. Like, they gave me a free guitar.
Oh, that's a nice thing.
Yeah.
A lot of things have happened in the last 10 years, and I hope a lot more is going to happen in the next 10 years. It was wonderful to have you on the show today, and it was
Thank
such a
you.
great pleasure. Wonderful music. You really should check out his website, johnmusic.com.
No, it's John Smith, johnsmith.com.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah,
Yeah.
johnsmith.com. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Now I've
No
got that
worries.
wrong.
No problem, no problem.
And on social media, it's the John Smith,
Yes.
and John Smith on Facebook Music.
It's-
That's where I got the music from, I think.
I
Well,
think
just look him up because he's
it's the
number
John
2 on
Smith.
Google anyway, so you don't have to really look that far.
Yeah.
It was wonderful to have you. I wish you all the luck for the future.
Thank you.
I
Thanks for the
can't-
question.
Yeah, you're
Really
welcome.
appreciate it.
And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here on Sofa
Cheers.
Recordings. Come back or tune in next time for more wonderful music. And we wish you all the best. We wish you all the best.
Thank you, likewise.
See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.